that other people have compiled and configured to work. You don't have to build them all and deploy them yourself. It's much nicer.
And when they update, just tell it update. It updates everything.
And for the most part, the repositories are, the updates are small. Like in the Ks or megs, not in the gigs.
On my CentOS boxes, they have delta RPMs. So, I mean, you can do an RPM update that, and it comes back and tells you, well, if we had downloaded the full RPM, it would have been 10 megs, but we only needed 300K worth of changes, so that's what we downloaded.
So that's what we got.
So I was setting up a machine to cross-compile for the ARM, and I pulled the deb down on the ARM, but just told it to download it, apt-get download, I believe. Then I took it over to the other machine and extracted it into the directory that had the files linked for that processor. And it had everything, but it didn't have the dynamic libraries with the version.
Okay.
It had the statically linked libraries there, and I'm sure there's a standard way to generate the shared library.
Use a lot of memory for that. With the static libraries, you use more memory. Because you cannot choose which one.
Yeah, but when you install the deb package on the system, the dynamic libraries are there.
Okay.
But when I download it and extract it on a different system, they're not there. It's kind of interesting. So I had to copy them separately, but there's got to be a better way to set up cross-compiling.
Steve, you got anything?
Not really. If you export the var cache deb directory as NFS and mount it on the other machine, you may be able to just do, you can do an apt install and it'll go, oh, we've already got these, and that might give you the dynamic libraries.
That's interesting. It may just mount the other drive. That's what I heard you suggest. Just mount it and link with it.
The simple random ideas that save babies.
Vicente, you got anything?
I'm still fighting with Python, MicroPython. But I have now an environment that is very interesting, that is a virtual network connection from my desktop to a Raspberry Pi that is connected to an ARM board running MicroPython. So from the desktop, you can write Python software for the Raspberry Pi and MicroPython software for the board that is connected to the Raspberry Pi via USB connection. So you can change your environment from the code of the microcontroller, the code of the Raspberry Pi, everything in your desktop. And it's interesting because the MicroPython is dealing with all the timers, interruptions, all driving of the motors, of sensors, of a robot, for example. And Raspberry Pi, it has the camera connected, and virtual machine, vision, machine vision, and all this all high-level stuff, and they working together and remotely to program a robot. It's very interesting. I just testing different boards connected to the Raspberry Pi, because different versions of MicroPython have different libraries depending on the amount of memory in the microcontroller board. The ESP32 is cheap and has a lot of functions, but there are other boards from with STM32 ARM microcontroller with more timers, more interruption, more possibilities. I'm trying to run the encoder for the hoverboard wheel in the ARM board, and from the Raspberry Pi try to control the motor. I need to define some way of exchange values from Raspberry Pi and the MicroPython board. There is a JSON messages that can be used to update variables in both sides. Maybe not fast enough, or I don't know, but if you download more intelligence to the controller that will drive the motors, just tell move forward or make a turn or something more complex, and the board just use the encoders and the PWM signals to control the robot and release the Raspberry Pi for machine vision and navigation, or the algorithms of moving from one place to another or something. And try to put this all together and see what it can be done with this.
Cool.
It's interesting. I bought my MicroPython
Oh,
to show it.
yeah, I see.
You're all Python all the time now.
Now.
Leroy, you probably already told them about the Raspberry Pi 4 a long time ago.
Well, are you referring to the fact that the 2 gig model is now $35?
Yep.
I didn't say anything about that now. That just happened though.
Oh, okay. I wondered if, I remember talking about some of the new Raspberry Pis, but didn't know if that we talked about this before or not.
Have they marked them down at Micro Center yet?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, they were like 29 the other day.
Do I?
And the 4s were like 29 the other day.
That would be for the 1 gig.
So it might be, I
The-
don't know what size it was.
The 1 gigs and the 2 gigs are the same price now. They're supposed to be $35. Micro Center does its own thing sometimes.
Hmm.
I was just surprised to see the 4 below
So
30.
all the little all the people that are doing reviews and stuff are saying, forget buying the 1 gigs. There's no point anymore. Just
Yeah.
buy the 2 gigs. So
I might have to go by on the way home.
yeah, I'm sort of kind of heading over there myself.
I bought LoRa development tools, but I haven't gotten them out of the box yet. That'll be fun.
Laurel's fun. That's fun stuff.
They have a LoRa development thing going on now for people who are not connected to the internet, or you can't connect your cell phone. They have a mesh that you can build with LoRa technology that runs off the cell phone system. They say that's going to be interesting coming up. I've been working with the camera a little bit. This is a 3500 lumen outdoor lamp. It mounts this way or this way. This one's dusk to dawn, $36. One of the things, 3500 lumens is pretty good. They're coming up with the 5500s now, but they're a little pricey. This one's $36, and it's adjustable. I like that. And this is going to help me with the road. I did see some stuff on smearing, and you can adjust your shutter speed. If your shutter speed goes too far open, it will, and you see a reflection off the license plate, it'll blind you. And that's what I've seen with my other cameras. This new camera I got, you can adjust the shutter range, so I might be able to get license plates better. I had a strange car pull in the driveway the other day, and I noted it, and I pulled it up, and of course it didn't have a front license plate. It looked like a new car, so that's going to be a new problem for Ohio people. No
More front plate.
No more bigger.
It hasn't been a law. It hasn't been turned into law yet.
Oh, okay.
Soon, March 1st, I think.
June or something.
Okay.
The hoods typically don't have front license plates anyway. I guess they come from Kentucky or something. There's some of the Amazon drivers don't have front plates.
I have my front plate under the passenger seat at the moment. So let's put it on the car.
And that's it for me. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about before we?
Seen
Turn it
some
over to Leroy.
interesting robotic stuff this weekend. But they had a doctor on the robotics. I can't remember his name for the life of me. But evidently, there's a lab here in the States and a lab in London, and he's implanted a wiring harness into his arm about right here, where he's got 100 nerves wired into the circuit board, and then he's got a artificial hand in London that anything he does with his hand, that robotic hand mimics whatever his hand does, which is kind of freaky.
His wife thought so too.
Well, so what's even funnier is now that he's done that test for like the last year, his wife just got it in. He put a similar chip into his wife. So if his wife like taps her wrist, he can feel it. So they're talking about like telepathy through, artificial means, because she can send him messages, like Morse code or whatever.
Morse code.
Yeah.
Might be interesting for spies.
Well, that's,
Green
it's
milk.
kind of freaky, I thought.
Bananas.
Yeah. Don't forget the milk.
Bring me a Pepsi. Bring me a Pepsi.
Well, but that's the thing, right? So, like, you could tie that to an automated message or a button or something on an app on your phone and literally wire it into your microphone.
For call the dog. A bottom or something. You feel, come.
And then Amazon starts sending you, wouldn't you like to buy?
I investigated the animal tag readers to address the Mimi eating her own food issue, and I found that the sensors for and the readers for animals is not 125, which is what most everyone else is. They've got their own, doing their own thing. They're 134.2 megahertz.
Okay.
And to get, they have a cheap reader, but it's, the cats are, I think, in the shoulder, in the back, and the reader is, the cheap ones are 2 centimeters, and to get 6 centimeters, they have a long-range reader. And there's a guy who's, you can buy several of them, but they, spend $40 for it. They also have a lot of the doors are already out there for like $100,
Mm-hmm.
but their pluses and minuses, like some of them catch the cattails and they snatch the skin off the end of the tail, and all sorts. And then some of them don't read the 9-digit code. Some of them read the 15-digit code, but they can't do the 9-digit code, and so there's stuff going on.
One thing interesting, Amazon delivery, same day, I asked for a MicroPython board and by 3 a.m. or something, and was at the front door before midday, the same day almost, But I would think you can see the van in Google Map, the van with your stuff moving in the neighborhood, getting close to,
okay.
Where you see it, where you see it.
Uber
in
does
real
the
time,
same
it's
thing.
crazy.
Domino's is starting to do that with their drivers.
I have time to get the dog into the house, because the mailman knows the dog and like it, but when there is people that is not regular there, the dog is aggressive. Sometimes I miss some deliver because of him.
Because you're not sharing the pizza.
Some pizza guys are very, very handy with the dogs, They play with them very easy. But there is people that is really, really afraid, and the dog empower more and more, and it's like a feedback thing, People get nervous, and the dog is more aggressive.
Growing up, we had a dog. It was some sort of collie thing. I don't know. Nice dog. It was a mutt. Somebody dropped it off, and that dog never barked at anybody. I mean, we'd have people drive up, and he'd just lay there and watch them. If they got out, he'd stand up, but he wouldn't bark at anybody. We got a new insurance agent. The dog went ape. I mean, he wouldn't let him out of his car. And
Yeah, there are
see,
some people that
we got
dogs
another
don't like.
insurance agent after that. My dad figured the dog knows something.
Yeah.
You were rejected by the dog.
Yep.
Rejected by the dog.
You got anything you want?
This way or the other one?
It doesn't matter.
I like the way it gets flat.
It lays flat, yeah. So, this is the some people aren't here. So, last week we tried this little experiment.
The makerspace.
What they
Yeah.
printed here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
$12 for
Vinyl
this.
or something.
13 bucks for
You
this.
can print whatever you want.
And
Maybe you need a quick reference or whatever you're doing, put it to work while you make the code or something.
That would be
I
cool.
was thinking in ASCII chart,
Mhm.
you know, a big one. I remember when I was a kid, I had one, but it would be nice to just to have a big one in the wall.
That's the Husky lens. It's one of the K210 artificially intelligent camera thingy-mabobs. Arduino Nano, motor driver board. That's it. Batteries. That's it. So last week we tried this, and it didn't quite work as well as I had the camera angled up. We angled it down a little bit more, but it was still angled a little bit. So we're going to try it with the camera pointing directly down, which I think is working better. I also made a number of changes to the code. I found that inside the original code, they had a deadband. So I adjusted the deadband because my motors are different than what they were using. And I adjusted the PWM not the PWM, the PID loop way down. Instead of 2000, I adjusted it down to 100. And now I showed him a little video of it, and it sort of was doing this. I think I've got that worked out, but I'm not sure. So we'll see if it will actually do better or worse. On my desk, I had a piece of tape about that long because my desk is small and I don't have space. So it was going on the desk, but it was following the line. So that's always a good thing.
It did the intersection. Great.
That's better. It's still wiggling a little.
Well,
that's all right.
Okay, stays in line. We're happy.
You know, your line followers, if they got those sensors, it got confused. Somebody unconfused it.
They had the turn close to the intersection. That's what got it. Now what's your problem? What's that?
I saw that people put the camera very high, you know, sometimes like 8 inches or something.
I think maybe up higher. We're dragging somewhere.
I was just saying, we get some sharp turn of going off screen.
Uh-oh.
We've got. Looks like there's some.
It's a reflection.
There's a reflection.
I think if you got the camera more towards the axis that the wheels are on, you might have better luck. But that's just a guess.
Yeah,
I think the rear roller isn't rolling.
I don't think the rear roller's rolling, is it? It's not bad. It's a lot better than it was.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Let's try it.
There's a white reflection.
There's a lot of reflection.
Oh, you want to turn the light off?
Check.
Just turn it down. Can we just turn it down?
So if you printed this out again and gave yourself bigger arcs, you would follow it.
Oh, but you're probably right. If it was by the wheels, it probably could handle it a little better because it's not going to go off the screen.
Now it's a lot better.
Yeah, now there's no
the vector.
reflection. So the white background was causing a
Let
lot
me
of.
do that one. Let's see if it'll make a loop. If it does the entire.
It's getting slow. I think the batteries are going.
We need more horsepower.
Oh, hey, go that way. Don't follow me. This is about as bright as it is in my workspace too. So.
I don't want to put too much light on mushrooms, you know.
It's true. That's not
I
bad.
see. It's doing.
It's got an
doing
arrow on the
thing.
display that's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, it's trying to actually follow the arrow, not. So I adjusted the speed. When I did it first, I had the speed set at maximum. Now it's set at 150, which seems like it's a little too slow still.
Yeah, I think speed would help it quite a bit because it has time to think. We don't want it to think. Just follow the arrow.
Just follow the arrow. Don't
and then
think.
put
Just
it
do
over
it.
the axle, like you said. That's an excellent idea.
Yeah. Well.
Let's get some
It
mechanical
made it.
problems.
Yeah, moving it back might not be as easy as it sounds.
Right.
Theoretically speaking.
It sounds easier than it might actually be.
I
So-
think the radius.
Actually, it got to that point and it didn't make the turn, so
What is that?
it's seeing that.
I think the radius of your curves is tighter than what it turns.
You
But
got
you
a
don't
bad
have to
shadow
do-
too.
Yeah, there's a shadow.
You never drive the motors in reverse, so it can't
Right.
pivot quite as tight.
But you saw it last week.
Yeah,
How
much better.
Yeah.
this is a
Very cool.
lot better. This is miles ahead of where it was last week.
Inches ahead.
Inches ahead.
Give it time. It'll be miles.
So
Maybe you need to add
It
reverse.
sees the edge of the table and thinks it's black.
yeah, I think the shadows are playing havoc with it a little bit. See, my batteries may be dying too. But if you look, it lost the line. So
Well, but I would say you could get a little bit more aggressive on the code probably for the line detection and start adapting sooner. Probably would.
I wonder if there's a way to. I wonder, the other cameras that I've got, I can change it to grayscale.
Mm-hmm.
Should be able to change this one to grayscale. That might help it too.
Still pretty good though. I think it's funny going this way, it's turning a lot better. Over here anyway. But yeah, that glare.
The glare's killing them. Who would have thought that a white piece of paper would have glare on it?
Well, the glare's on the black.
You need to add an umbrella.
An umbrella.
There you go. But the-
I actually thought about doing what Steve suggested with a light.
Yeah, right in there. Mount it right there. I think it'd be a lot more accurate. That'd solve your problem.
You need to put this higher to have more field of view
So transparent and higher. So
to see more.
See, the light though is the light's causing a big glare on it. The light was back here.
Well, I think the glare is.
You are
Oh, it
saturating
just
the
reset.
camera.
I think the glare is coming from the overhead lights.
Yeah.
That's bouncing straight back off of the lines. I got a flashlight.
You drop that down to the bottom.
Well, that's another He tried it on the, last week we moved it down to the bottom.
Did you?
If you speed it up, I think speeding it up would, because one of the things you got is if you had a delay on it, it would give the appearance of moving the picture back.
Push button on the end.
If you made it go faster, the built-in
No,
delay
use
would,
this instead.
would enhance the appearance of being above the axis.
So when it gets stuck, frequently, its camera can't see white on one side
Oh
or
yeah,
the other of the white.
it did that intersection
A
there.
thinner line, it might follow better.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking up almost a quarter of the display.
Let's see if it gets this next intersection.
Just do one level.
This is a bad intersection here.
Pins. See
Yeah.
if it runs around like a cat.
Yeah, it's turning too early. It's turning too early.
Really. But it's
Put a buffer in there for the values and shift the values
Go
back.
up a little bit.
It's just to have a bigger
To
rectangle.
the left.
going off. The line's going off screen.
Is to avoid the saturation.
But it's, I would say, it's done. It did make it around one.
It made it almost around. He kind of hung up with it down here a little bit.
But it made it fine over here. Something about between going left and right because it kept hanging.
It's almost
Going
around.
right here.
Almost. Oh look, it decided that it just didn't want to deal with this line at all.
Doesn't like that side.
So, once I get this worked out, though, I want to take like a Ruco markers or April tags or QR codes or something and hold it under it so that once it gets to an intersection, it will either go left or it will go right.
Mm-hmm.
So it could possibly avoid going around in the little tiny circle or not avoid going around in the little tiny circle. And I think, MakeBlock made this map, obviously, but MakeBlock makes a robot that's very similar to what you've got with the little sensors on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were using these circles for some particular reason. That thing should be able to recognize that there's circles there so that it stops and waits for something else to happen. Batteries
That's
are
the other thing I
dying.
was wondering. I didn't see any code for that model, so I didn't know if you had to build it all. But anyhow,
It's great. He just says, I don't want to go on that side.
yeah. Doesn't make the turn hard enough.
So this, obviously, this map wasn't made for this robot, but I figured it would work. $13. Everybody needs to go to the makerspace and
You put the camera on the back.
okay. That would just confuse it, wouldn't it? My camera's flashing. I bet the batteries are.
There it goes.
That's my big.
Cool.
Ah!
What?
I've lost open.
What?
If it loses the line, it is supposed to stop. So it's doing what it's supposed to do.
So the next thing, if it loses the line, go into torpedo mode. Just
Do circles.
yeah.
I think the original code, it was actually supposed to do something like that. I modified it, obviously, because
Ford
Yeah, I
6 volt.
I need to up that to 2 more batteries. I've got a bigger battery pack. I can change the batteries out.
Drop one of those big old.
Hey, get one of 12 volts. I got
Oh, yeah.
12 volt batteries.
Then I really would have to make this thing go fast because the 12-volt battery would be like.
Yeah, I don't think those motor shafts could stand that.
It'd be popping wheelies. You know.
But on that note, does anybody need 12-volt batteries? I've
Don't
only
those-
got about 50 left.
Okay.
He's only got about 50 left.
Give me 4. You got 4?
You got them. You
Not
got them
on
with
me.
him.
I'll bring them next week.
Find all of those.
So
I'm doing a PoE WAP.
Okay.
That's my next project. Spend like $40.
I've
In
got
300.
some PoE modules that if you're ready to remove them from old damaged boards, you can add them. They're $20-30 a pop.
Injectors or receivers?
Receivers.
Cool.
Receivers.
Yeah,
The thing that
you
takes the
plug it
48
in,
volts and turns it into
Yeah.
5.
drops it down.
Or
These drop
7
to
or
12.
whatever. 12, okay.
Okay, this one is, I think the official is 48, and this one's 24.
Well, so that steps it down to the device, to whatever the device needs.
Okay, for the device itself, it goes inside the device.
Yeah, the thing that bit me with it is you've got to draw a serious current or the PoE source will turn the power off on you. There's
Ah.
a big resistor there to dissipate energy. It's
Really
offensive.
nice.
Yes.
I just made my own PoE adapters. I
There's-
didn't even care what the specs were. I just made my own.
But your house has got an air intake if your house is sealed up, and modern day houses that are sealed up. And it does have a wire mesh in there, but I think I can get a Ethernet cable through there. And if I can do PoE,
Mhm.
then I'll be good to go. And I can put my my Wi-Fi. The trouble is I have my extender in the window, but my cameras are actually up in other windows, and I do have some out there and some off in the distance. If I could get it further out, then I catch the ones in the windows directly. If I could get the antenna further out, and also I have some that are further out.
Don't your cameras support PoE?
I got some Wi-Fi cameras, like out in the barn. It's got to be Wi-Fi. And my bird watching, I actually probably could run it, but then I don't want to do too much that might attract lightning and stuff. Yes, I was just thinking today. Now, what would that do? It'd come down that wire, go to my router, and then it'd branch out from there and catch all my computers that are directly wired, which are most of them. That would not be good.
I have 2 lightning stories. When I was a kid, a phone pole near us got hit, and our phone went out. Cincinnati Bell came out, and the fuse in the fuse block that was on our front porch was blown. So they replaced it, and we still got no phone. So they must have killed your phone before the fuse blew. So they swapped out the phone. Still nothing. And the guy starts following the wire back, and it was stapled to the ceiling of our porch. And there's one spot where there's just this little brown
Black spot.
blowout.
It's
So
a fuse.
yep, the
Well,
wire
have
was
a
the
black
fuse.
spot or just blew out.
And he gave us back our original phone. It was a pink one that my mother liked.
Oh.
And the second story was I got a call to check to see how much repair was needed up in Dayton. There's a private school out near Hara Arena, right next to that huge water tower. And I went in there and they had, let's say, 250 devices on their network, and every single phone, every computer, their coffee maker. I mean, basically everything that was plugged in the building was just destroyed. It was
Wow.
bad.
That sounds like a bad.
The phone system survived. Oddly enough,
Wow.
they had an old NEC voice over IP thing, and it was okay.
The Japanese were serious about their stuff not breaking. They were serious. They didn't want to have an American fix it on this end. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I don't know. I've had some amazingly good luck with some old AT&T partner systems. I have a few that are still working, and they're, God, 40 years old now.
I remember the AT&T partners. Those were good. Those were good folks.
We had the dimensions.
Mm-hmm. See their boat in 2 colors.
It's my dual color boat with little artifacts because the extruder kept knocking into it. And my little speckles. The one side got speckly, and the other side got artifacts. So
Now, did you print that
yeah,
at home or here?
no, I printed that at home.
Why would you do that? Oh, because of the time involved, probably away from.
Well, that was 3 hours to do that, but that's it's a test print to
Yeah.
make sure your printer's lined up right. And
How much are we talking about for a printer now?
the dual,
Talking about the regular price, not the Leroy price.
the dual color printer was $500.
Is it dual head, or
Dual
does it
head.
retract? Okay.
Yeah,
Is that
dual
list
head.
price or Leroy price?
That was Micro Center price. That was
Oh, okay.
that was Leroy got his tax return and went crazy.
Weehaw.
That was, I don't really need this, but why not? Some of my first few prints were way worse than that. That one actually was
How long was
actually good.
this print?
About 3 hours.
3 hours.
It's normally, if you just print that, it's normally about an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. I think you printed yours bigger than normal scale, didn't you?
No, I just took the regular benchy boat.
Maybe I printed smaller. 'Cause mine's only like that tall.
Oh. All of mine have come out like that.
Okay.
I mean, I downloaded that from Thingiverse, so
Mhm.
actually, I did have to download that one from Thingiverse because it's
2 color.
2 color. So yeah, that one actually did come from Thingiverse. My original benchy boat came from one of the other printers had it on,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, it was on mine, and I think we just printed it. I don't think I did any scaling.
So I take it this boat would probably not float if they were to put it
No.
in water.
it does not float.
You confirm that, but I don't think you need to confirm
I
that.
think it
These
floats.
letters in black.
It's just not necessarily upright. It's kind of the side.
There's there's another somebody took this benchy boat and modified it, made the base a little wider, and did some other stuff to it. And he says that one will float.
Yeah.
It's got a wide enough base on it; it will
Sick.
float. And I found a
Stuff
benchy
is
boat.
25.
I don't even know if I've still got that file, but it was 4 times that size, and
Mm-hmm.
it will float because it's a bigger
I'll
boat.
look.
It's a
More
bat.
hollow.
It's called a bathtub boat or something. And
Did you guys see the
I was
battleship
actually
built
looking
out of
for.
Legos
Do I?
for the 75th anniversary?
Battleship built out of Legos.
Yeah,
Google
there's
that.
a crew of 16 guys built a battleship about the size of this table out of Legos.
I didn't see that.
That's a lot of money in Legos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it's neat.
So anybody watch that Lego competition on Fox?
Not yet.
That's some of the silliest stuff I've seen. And they take it
This
serious.
was like the second or third boat they've done, and this one they built it to they literally the guys that built it can stand on the sections, and they do sections about yay wide, and then they all butt it together so they can move it real easy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Lego life-sized
Now this,
battleship
that's
with
cool.
all the turrets and all the missiles and
this one's not that big. It's pretty big.
Pretty big. That's
There's Missouri. Wow, that's a big one.
That's pretty big.
great.
The Death Star battleship. Oh, that one's pretty big.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
We only need to see the train museum, the wood train museum south of Akron. All train. There's some of them are probably half that size. Full detail wooden trains.
Hmm. Oh, there's the biggest.
That looks pretty big.
500,000 bricks.
Wonder if they get Lego to sponsor them because somebody's spending a lot of.
Yeah, that's, they never did say what it cost, but it took 16 guys 2.5 months to build it.
Even the labor cost is high.
Oh, there's one. Yeah, the aircraft carrier. To the left of that. Yeah, that one.
They use some kind of glue for that, right? To make it permanent.
Mhm.
Oh, it was glued together. Yeah, you could, I guess.
Acetone or something.
If they're taking it to shows, though, wouldn't they want to wait to
They can
take it
split
apart?
it down in sections.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
they make
The
sections.
guys that did this, they were in sections that you could stand on any part of it, and it was all modular. Like the turns come out in like Tupperware sections. It was really wicked what they had done and how accurate it was.
That's crazy. I don't get Legos.
The scientists have been working on fusion again, and they think they've. One of the problems they have with fusion is the losses are so high that it's not worth it. And they've developed a fusion reactor that's supposed to reduce. It's very experimental, but it's supposed to reduce the losses to the point that it's
Python, you have this.
comes feasible to do the fusion. Also, the fission reactors, the British are developing a package reactors, smaller package reactors to do like 22,000 customers, and also the what do they call those type that take the plutonium and they revert it to another fuel?
Breeder reactor.
Breeder reactors. They're talking about breeder reactors too. Very small scale breeder reactors. They could stand alone for like 20 years without any attention. Okay.
Cool.
Also, I saw them delivering. They had a picture of a Westinghouse nuclear reactor being delivered to India. I also had a Georgia Power sticker on it. That's. I was working at a nuclear reactor, one of the last Westinghouse PWRs.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, one of the last ones that they put in. So, yeah, so that's the Indians are seeing it's a green energy, effectively. It's very low pollutant form of energy. So a lot of the people are seeing that, although the Germans not so much, and the Japanese, they're a little skittish right now. But it is a green energy.
This may be an option to move a road.
Use the Wiimote. know you can do the nunchuck.
The nunchuck is connected right wire to the Arduino.
Bluetooth.
Yeah, you can. It's similar to I2C.
Yeah.
It
And
connects
you
to
have
the
a wire.
I2C. Yeah. But this, I think this uses Bluetooth.
So we've been using JSON a lot for communications between apps. It's handy, it's human readable. There's some
Yeah,
nice tools like
interesting.
Postman is a pretty cool tool. It helps you store commands and execute them repeatedly. You
I
write
will
s-
try to use it. Let's see, just to send maybe speed or direction,
If you're trying to-
angle.
If you're trying to keep the amount of data you're moving down, it's not the way to go. It's verbose. I mean, it's not like packing bits and UDP packets or anything.
Marcus, in his
Arduino has a library for that. It's
Yeah.
Firmata or something like that.
Jason.
No, it's more simple thing, but
Marcus uses JSON in his home automation. It's how he's sending messages around. There's a bunch of different ways to send messages around. JSON's
yeah,
just
but
nice.
you know what's
the,
really
the,
cool
the
about
parsing
it?
the parsing is automatically.
That's exactly right. The
Just-
browsers that run JavaScript, they don't have to parse. They
Yeah,
just
no,
use
just-
it.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
You say speed equal whatever,
Yeah.
and in your destination the speed has take this value and that's it.
That's it.
And we will be fast enough because I am planning to make the control loops inside the controller, the board, not in the Raspberry Pi. A Raspberry Pi just send more high level commands, maybe slower information. Or let's see, it's a matter of experimentation.
Bing.
What's next?
I don't know. I'm just. I had thought about something, and then it went. It was like right there, and then it went.
In my POE WAP project, I saw a couple of things about that
That's right.
that was interesting. This unit I bought, it's the Chinese TP-Link. It fits inside of an antenna that looks like it has 3 tubes. It's supposed to be super high gain. It's like 120 something bucks. But supposedly it increased the range of this WAP from like 300 feet, which was marginal, to a very solid 100 yards.
Yeah, direction.
Is directional? Is that what it is? Okay.
Before we do
They
that.
also had a TP-Link that was in a box, and which is, I've got a one that is directional. It says it's directional, and it's a rectangular shape, but apparently it has layers and is dimensional, and it'll change the effective direction of the device that you're talking to. I don't know if it changes the direction of each device
It's called
individually.
a phase array.
Yeah.
And by detuning the antenna, or by sending a different frequency to the outer ring of antennas, they can shape the beam.
Is it adjusting it per client, or is it just adjusting it?
No,
for
I don't
optimal?
think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know anything.
Can you look at
And
them
you
for
can-
this is
you
the
can-
model
there's-
I give him,
you
Hey,
still
HG
do it.
9912
The ones we
and
had
AG 99.
don't
One,
necessarily
two,
match
and
SCC regulatory control,
Certainly not if you.
so you can
put
beam it
tomato-
all the way through the warehouse.
That
Really?
is
These
a
are-
that
these
is a
are supposed to
POE
be-
module.
Yep, there you go.
Supposed to be adjustable.
If you're interested.
Ultra.
If anybody, I've got a few of these that are on old boards that are out of use. I would have swore they were more than that, but we started buying them a couple of years ago, so. maybe they
You know,
were.
stuff comes down in price.
It does.
They're cheap now.
Well, no, it's probably the most expensive part on the board, actually. Well, maybe the connectors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is scary what connectors cost.
Yeah.
I've
And
got
you can plug-
cases of DB9 and DB25 connectors. I use that for everything.
They said this WAP doesn't use RJ45 connector. I want to go, oh man, that doesn't sound good.
What in the world is it used?
I don't know. Somebody was saying that they couldn't get a RJ45 to fit in there, and they had to do something else. I'm like, "Urgh."
But
Might
you know
have
what
an
model
O-ring
number
on
it
to
is?
make it waterproof.
This was just a customer comment, so I'm not sure if it was from the official vendor. It's
Trying to plug
it's
in a phone
the
line.
N300 TP Link. It's a E110 or something like that.
I like TP Link. They don't do anything innovative. They use they don't.
They don't.
break squat.
Yeah.
It's
This
stuff
is-
that other companies have proven works, and they go, okay, now we'll sell it.
Yeah, this is brain dead stuff. Really, it's
Yeah.
N300.
this is a wireless access point that certainly looks like RJ45
Outdoor.
outdoor. That certainly looks like an RJ45 connector.
I would agree.
Maybe they had to trim down the connector to get it to fit in the bottom. That looks like it.
Well, if it's anything like
Oh, see how deep it is?
It does have. It looks like extra wires up there. I don't know if that's an illusion or what.
that's an illusion. I've seen these things before.
Yeah.
This part here should come off, and then you plug your wire in there, and then you shove that bottom part back up on there.
If it doesn't have, if some of them
that
have
will-
that plastic sleeve on it, it's not just
Mhm.
a.
The plastic sleeve is supposed to be part of the waterproofing. So you've got to pull that plastic sleeve off. You shove your wire in there, and then you shove the plastic sleeve back on. And it's probably not. There's probably no instructions because they don't do instructions anymore. You just got to figure it out.
You just have to have it operating.
It's like
Oh, nobody
it's
read
like
them
those.
anyway until they broke it.
It's like those Cisco ones. They've just copied the Cisco.
Yeah.
Well, they're Cisco's boards
Oh no!
from Foxconn put into a different box. That's all they are.
What's the one that you put up at Ray's?
Ubiquity.
Yeah,
Ubiquity
I think
makes one that looks
Mhm.
very much like that, and
Mm-hmm.
but the
Then-
Ubiquity is easy because it just drops down.
Yeah.
The plastic part just drops down, and you plug it in, and the plastic part goes back up.
This fits in a Ubiquity antenna. That's what I was talking
Yeah.
about earlier. That $124 antenna is a Ubiquity antenna.
Yeah. All they've done is taken the Ubiquity stuff and they put it in their own case with probably cheaper hardware.
Don't mount it to a steel post like they're showing,
Yeah,
because that'll
that'll
really
probably
mess
be bad.
with your pattern.
Oh, particularly one that goes up past the device.
Yeah.
That's pretty weird.
Depends on which way you want to go.
Yeah.
that
My
where
neighbors
the
already use
cable
Wi-Fi.
plugs in is right down here, and this
Mhm.
part should slide out or flip down or do something funky where you can actually get that wire in there.
And it looks like the antenna's screwed out.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
they should
Wow,
screw
that's
out.
that's amazing. That's great. I could come out of there and put some serious antennas on there, which is what the Ubiquity does. I'm sure
Yeah.
it goes in the top.
You need a camera to take pictures of the guy that stole the
That's-
antennas. Steals.
You're right. I mean, they just copy what other people have done.
Yeah.
The distance to
Cheaply.
my cameras is extremely limited. Definitely indoors, and outdoors is
And you need to put this in a very
you get
high
up to 100 feet.
spot, right?
I would expect this to be line of sight. You can see the camera. I would expect this to be able to see it too.
I can see it from 200 yards away. Should be able to do it.
Yeah.
I noticed they had some that are point to point. They're like 5 kilometers or stuff.
I used to use
What was the name? Outdoor
the-
access point.
crappy little
What's the range?
Blinks STD. The WRT 54s, and put them in a salad bowl with aluminum foil on it, and I could get a quarter mile with those, no
Wow.
problem.
Yeah, you can get a directional antenna. There's no doubt. Or you can fashion your own with a salad
Yeah.
bowl.
Salad bowls work really well.
That's why he knows the Tupperware place.
Exactly.
So, if you go to AutoZone, they have an electrical grease for light bulbs and stuff. It's $7 for a tube about that tall.
No.
You just put that on the
I don't
Tupperware
see
lid,
range.
close it up. It's waterproof forever.
Mm.
You don't want to get that stuff on you.
I don't see anything that says what the actual range is.
Range depends on terrain and
Yeah, but in
weather.
an open area.
Yeah,
Yeah, they should give a guesstimate.
These guys claim 300 feet.
Well, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It'd be under the mapping. They should give
But
a
it-
map
well-
diagram of what it's.
one of the thing working against the range on this is it is not directional at all.
Yeah, it
If-
could be
Yeah,
omnidirectional.
spread energy in all directions.
And if there's stuff in your way, that's going to cut down on the range.
Where that steel pole.
That steel pole might.
That thing would have such a shadow behind it.
They usually say, maximum range. I don't see that anywhere. So now they're not even claiming what a range is.
Yeah.
Here,
Nobody knows what that.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't,
Sorry.
we don't care.
This one is, show you how exotic I am. It only supports 2.4 gig, okay? I'm way down at the low end.
But that's all you need for your cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All my cameras are 2.4.
So you probably click on my support page.
But I do go off down in the woods with my phone every now and then. It'd be handy for that.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised they can get 3 dB up with those antennas. That's effectively double the power, right? Every 3 dB is an octave.
So I should have double the power. Oh, I got 3 antennas on my router, but it's inside.
This actually should come with your PoE adapter already.
Yeah. But most of my PoE cameras come with a dongle, usually these days.
So the cameras probably are just a power supply. They're not actually PoE. There's
Right.
communications in PoE as well as
Well, yeah,
just power.
the-
And this
the-
is gonna.
This
It-
is
it- the-
just
the-
power.
The
It's a
PoE
passive.
camera
Yeah, it
works
says
with
passive.
a regular
Mm.
RJ45 connector and regular cable, but if you want to, you can use the dongle and just put the power in
Mhm.
at the base, and it's 12 volts.
His cameras are probably passive too. This is just
Yeah.
it's a weird
Actually,
little
I'm surprised this is. I
It's
would
a-
have expected better.
from TP-Link.
Yeah.
It's a little adapter dealie that you plug in one side
Yeah.
and it's got the
Don't-
output and you
yeah.
plug it in.
Don't confuse the inside and the outside.
That's what I made when I made my own. I just made passive.
Yeah,
it
with
just
the
passed
little
power.
tiny double female connectors.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
I just made my own.
Now these guys want 24 volts, so that's the specs say.
They
How it is.
they're probably actually less, but they put more there. And they're probably actually carrying the PoE or the power on two lines instead of what I did, which is just one line.
And I found out
built
the little
really cheap PoE adapters.
the little waterproof RJ45 connectors that slip over your cable.
Mm-hmm.
Do put those on.
Yeah. Yeah, and fill them with grease too.
Fill them with grease? Oh, okay. What kind of grease?
That electrical grease I was talking about earlier.
That's a good book.
AutoZone sells it in little packets, so they're enough for 1 or 2 light bulbs, or a tube that'll last you the rest of your life.
Both probably cost about
That
the
was
same.
weird.
It's $1 for a
You-
packet and $7
You
for
did
the
it.
tube.
Change that.
Jeremy, you wanna
Just messing.
coffee? Candy coffee?
I'm good. Hey, Jeremy. Anything going on? Anything interesting?
Not particularly. Mostly just praying for some new stuff, but guess we'll see.
Everybody's screaming about security for the internet IoT stuff.
There is no security for IoT stuff. There's no security
Yeah.
for computers.
Yeah.
After last week's training and meeting,
Security was
Oh,
security.
We were.
oh my God.
Preparing to move the hive. That's cool.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun with that.
It's gonna be a pain in the rear, but the space is awesome, so can't pass that up.
Yeah, where are they moving to?
It's just a different space on the same street. It's not very far away.
We're moving into the KOI building.
What happened
North
to
or
KOI?
south?
I think it's south, isn't it?
Okay.
I haven't been to the new space
They
yet.
have,
Meaning to.
they're getting almost double the space for about $150 more a month.
Yeah.
Sweet.
With a 5-year lease
Internet's
with
in.
the ability to expand another 10,000
Utilities are
square
in.
feet.
Nice. Better internet access?
Well, utilities, internet access, part of the package.
Cool.
Don't look like yours.
Is this the big KOI building off of I-75? What happened to KOI?
I don't know, but they're doing a whole lot better deal than the bank wants to jack the price up, and then they won't do more than a year, and they want to jack the price up again next year.
Hmm.
Most likely. So they wouldn't sign a 5-year contract. Somebody dug up a KOI building was available, and it's cheaper per square foot, and they have an extra 10,000 feet.
New home building is up, supposedly up 10% this month or last year. It's interesting. And it sounds like the used home sales are up also.
People can afford to buy houses again.
Maybe that's it.
Everybody's working. But it is silly what they are charging for places.
It's good old capitalism. If you can get the price higher from somebody else, okay.
So we've been doing some work with DTMF tones, which is kind of interesting. Generate audio files and then have a program that decodes them and make sure the right sounds went to the right places. I'll probably bring that in here one of these days. That's pretty cool. It's all for automated testing stuff.
Do that with the dedicated chips for DTMF?
Hey, man.
They're like
Cheap little
20
Linux thing
cents
will
each.
generate the times too.
Yeah.
Hey, Leroy, have you had issues with Republic lately about reconnecting? I got up the other day and got off of Wi-Fi, and
Nope.
Nothing was working.
My biggest issue is my phone reboots itself randomly every 2 or 3 days now, and I
What the hell?
Huh?
What model is it?
crappy old phone that I should have replaced instead of buying another 3D printer.
The E series?
It's a E4.
E2 or something?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't. It's an old one, but and my guess is that it. I know I've seen it do it when it runs out of memory, but now it's every 2 or 3 days it'll just randomly reboot itself.
I think this reboots itself, it shuts itself off after 30 seconds.
That's true. Battery's still really good on it. I mean, it lasts all day long. But
No.
I want the Linux phones to be available. I'm just stalling on replacing my phone.
Republic had a just one like yours, a need.
Mobile?
Do what?
G7?
Motorola G6?
Yeah,
G7 now?
G7. That was reasonably priced, but I didn't bite the bullet and buy it.
Yeah.
I got the G6. I got one off. I used one off the eBay for $100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had any problems really, other than my phone doing stupid crap.
It still wants to connect to. It still wants me to set up my Amazon account for some reason, and I can't say go away.
Really?
Yeah. I have to delete this. It's not an option. I said, okay. Somebody bought an Amazon phone. So,
I don't think I have any Amazon stuff on mine. I bought this from Motorola.
yeah, I bought this from secondhand, and it looked like they had Amazoned it, where they had to have the Amazon app. Amazon will sell you a cheaper Motorola phone
Oh, okay.
with the Amazon app on
And so you can't get around it, I thought.
it. Yeah, it looks like you can't get around this one. It does a pop-up every day. It said, so you want to set up your Amazon account?
Yeah,
Okay, once a day. That's okay with me. $100.
Might be worth setting up another Amazon account.
I got
Just
one.
has nothing on it, doesn't do anything, and get rid of the bad.
I went to set up a Gmail account recently for something.
Mhm.
They require mobile phone numbers now, so I won't be setting any more up.
Yeah.
do they?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Who requires mobile phone number now?
Gmail to set up an account.
Well, it doesn't have to be a mobile.
Don't recall that.
Well, it's for your second authentication. You have to
Oh.
tie a phone number to it. I use
Right.
work
I think you
numbers.
get like multiple options for that, because if I remember correctly, you just need one, and one of them is a phone number.
When I set a second one up a couple years ago, but I think it asked for a second email address.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't take another Gmail address. It wanted something that was not Gmail.
I have several.
That was probably
So,
3 months ago, 4 months ago we did this.
but I think the two of them that I've got actually still go to this phone. I don't think it cared that I had the same phone number.
Ties them together.
Yeah.
I get weird spam on my Gmail number. My phone rings, I answer it, and it's something in Japanese.
Chinese.
Chinese.
I don't know.
They're telling you that your package is held up in customs and that you need to give them money to release it.
Oh, okay.
I could play it for you. I have it recorded on mine, but it's a scam from
Oh, yeah.
2017 for
Yeah, it's-
your visa's expiring. You
Yeah,
can call
okay.
and send us $5,000 or they're going to deport you from the U.S.
I don't
Our-
even speak English well. It just completely misses the point.
The one I've been getting recently is we're holding your package. It's a Chinese
Mhm.
lady, and we're holding your package, and something about it will be sent back unless you send us. It's not even a lot. They're not even asking for a lot.
200 yen.
But-
Whatever.
It's enough to go. Nah, I don't care if my
They ask,
package gets
ask
sent
to a
back.
lot of people, but not that.
I didn't know anything about it. I was at a restaurant in Georgetown, Ohio, because there's a lot of Chinese there, right? And it's almost like they pinged the tower because they went through like almost everybody in the restaurant.
Really? Oh, that's creepy.
Yep, my dad got it and I got it. And the guy we were eating with got it. I don't know however many other people in the restaurant.
Huh.
Just
That
phone
was
went
that
off,
was
and I just
somebody
like,
hacking the phones.
Yeah.
It was almost like they pulled who was
A
on
tower,
that tower
yep.
and was just going down the list of what was in range. But it was all in Chinese. So I still got the recording because I never answered a non-recognized number. So
I'm getting one from area code 212 that sounds like Korean or something
Yeah.
like that.
That's what this one comes from. New York.
Okay, yeah. Yep. I just block it. Next.
Sadly, I have a customer in New York that calls me fairly often, and so I can't just drop those.
Often enough that you can't just block it, huh?
Yeah.
I've been using Truecaller,
Mm-hmm.
called cell phone blocking, but it wants a real phone number. It doesn't want the Republic voice over IP number,
Oh.
which is fantastic because the real phone number for the phone is the one that gets 99% of the spam. So it blocks 99% of. Every now and then I will get a spam call from the voice over IP and it doesn't get blocked, but
I haven't been getting as much as I was for a while. For about 2 months, I got nothing. It was great. Let's see, I've got 1,